Alright, how's it going everybody? My name is Hinokodo. This is MIRU, an analog adventure game. And this is me playing the game. If you're first time seeing it, welcome. If you just recently got it in the mail because you backed us on Kickstarter, I appreciate it very much. This will be a great way to learn how to play without reading the rules, I suppose. Obviously, this is going to be not spoiler friendly. It has a beginning, middle, and end. And the middle is kind of what you experience through the game. So a lot of that's going to be spoiled. And if we happen to make it to the end, that will be too. So let's begin. To play MIRU, it is available digitally on itch.io. I'll put links down below and physically at mimicpublishing.com. It comes in this little zine format. It's about 32 pages, A5. It's printed in black and white with some red highlights. The prints came out really well. I'm very excited about these. All right, so let's just jump right in. To set up, right? It's a lot easier if you control your health and your energy with D20 dice. They move up and down quite a bit. You'll get a character sheet. Put a little spot up here for your health if you want to lay this flat on a table and just kind of fill it out. The printed version comes with the digital file, so you'll be able to print these pages out if you don't want to mark up your book. Your character sheet, pretty simple. There's a few stats that you'll take care of. Your health and energy, most important ones that kind of move up and down. Your attack and defense will go up and down depending on what weapons or armor you may find. You may find nothing, so it could be really hard for you. So anyways, there's some money in the game. There is a sleep and eating mechanic towards the end of each day. So that's something you'll keep track of. And then there's a little calendar here at the bottom of your character sheet. It helps you keep track of the kind of big story events that are going on. And I'll get into that in a little bit. And the game is played mostly through this hex map that you draw out. So you kind of chart your adventure. So hopefully at the end, you have something you can keep, something to remind you of what you've done. Or if you need to pause and like start up again later, you have something you can kind of back yourself up with. This is fun. It's been fun seeing everybody make maps and things, and so I'm excited to show you guys how to play. And I'll go through the rules as I kind of play. That way I'm not bombarding everybody with 20 minutes of detailed rules before we even start, right? So when things come up, I'll flip to the page and bring them up. All right, yeah, let's begin. So there's a short introduction. I'll read through these and we'll start. It's 21:25. You stand outside of a party, up on a hill with a view of the village. You notice your older brother and his friends sneak off down below into a field to mess with a helper F2, a farm bot that shows up at night to supplement the human day labor. You watch them fail to tip it over, and after a few shoves, you notice it starts to spark blue light from one of its legs. It trips and it knocks your brother over. The friends laugh, but knowing everyone's drunk, you start heading that way to make sure he's all right. On your walk over, his friends run past you giggling. You hear one of them joke that your brother is going to be in so much trouble. As you arrive, you see the farm bot sparking and sleeking its way into the woods. Your brother's still on the ground and a large Buster T7 standing over him. It unfolds its left arm and sparks up into a glowing blue light. You hear the robot say, "Destruction of robotic equipment is prohibited." Your brother drunkenly yells at it and tries to get himself up. The Buster T7 takes this as a threat and pushes its glowing arm into your brother's back and through his stomach. The bot lifts him off the ground and tosses him to the side. It sees you approaching and stares at you. You rush to your brother and immediately start applying pressure to his wound. You yell for help as the Buster T7 sneaks back into the woods. You try to compose yourself, but your face swells up with tears. Your brother does not look good at all. He starts spitting up blood and grabs your shirt. He manages to say, "They can't be reasoned with." He coughs and winces at the pain of breathing. "We should have killed all the gods way back. No gods, no masters." He coughs and struggles to breathe through the blood. "They can't think for themselves. Don't let them control you." He starts choking on blood. You tell him to hold the wound and you're going to go get help. He nods his head and rolls over into a fetal position and screams. You run back to the party for help, but when you come back, it's too late. The next day, the village holds a funeral for him. You boil with rage every time you hear someone say, "What a freak accident. Robots never do this." You think back to the number of people who have died over the years from robot accidents. As people give you their condolences, you fight back tears and dwell on his last words. No gods, no masters. It comes up over small talk occasionally. Who controls the bots that help us farm? People shrug and say, supposed to be some kind of god, but we never hear from it. The robots help us. We don't bother them, and everything works out. But it didn't work out for your brother, or the others in the past. You think about how passive everyone is. They just live with these freak accidents, because that's just how things are. When you get home from the funeral, you sit on your bed and stare at your backpack. Your brother's last words play on loop in your head. They can't be reasoned with. And you have a nightmare that night where you're too weak and helpless to save your brother. You wake up the next morning, just before dawn, with your body on autopilot. You watch yourself get out of bed, grab your bag, and pack it with a few essentials. You track across town, past the spot where he died, and keep walking towards the woods. You pause just before you cross the tree line and take one last look at the village. You turn around and march forward to do what no one else will. The time of gods is over, and you're going to end it. What an intro, huh? All right, so that's the setting. And there's like a little thing in the front here with kind of a Statue of Liberty lady and a quote that says, "All who follow me shall be gifted peace in this life and eternity in the after." I wonder who that is. Right, so to begin, you'll need your paper and your pen. And you'll begin at one of these bottom 5 hexes. And you'll start by drawing a little forest. And then you'll also need to set up your character sheet. This little guy here. So you'll write your name. You'll set up your health. For us, that's going to be the red one. And your energy. For us, that's going to be the white one. Both are set to 10. Your attack and defense start at 1. You don't start off with any money, weapons, or armor. You do start off with food. I'll write that down. We're going to start off with 3 meal bars. Now, what's a meal bar? All right. The book is your guide. I explain right here how to set up on page 2. And then I explain the order that you take your turn. We're going to begin each day by moving to a tile. Then we're going to roll for the terrain. So we're going to look around. Maybe it's a forest, maybe it's a mountain, maybe it's the desert or something. Then we're going to roll for the events that could occur. Sometimes nothing happens. Sometimes you come across a village. Sometimes there's like a series of ruins, or maybe you're attacked by a robot or something. You'll roll to see what happens to you. And then you'll experience that. You'll either survive it or make a decision. There's some story choices here in the game, or maybe you'll find an item or something, so to help you along your journey. And then you'll eat. You have to eat something every day. If you don't or are not able to, you'll starve, and then you'll take some hit points that way, so there's some strategy there. And then you'll camp each night. And eating and sleeping will heal you. So on page 3, if you have any questions about that, that's where you find that information. And then specifically about the mule bar, I wrote that here, and you'll see it in the back at the almost the last page here, page 30. There's a huge list of all the items and things you can find in the game, a brief description, and kind of the effect that they have on you. There is a shop mechanic in the game where you can buy and sell things in villages. That's what this little list here is, buy and sell prices. If we look at food, we see a meal bar. It says +2 HP, +1 EP, packed with a day's nutrition. We begin each day by choosing a direction on your map, where you're going to go. Then you're going to roll 1 dice to see what happens to you, right? 5. So that's us determining the terrain. And if we go through pages 9 through 19, at the very top of most of them, you'll see this terrain roll, and that kind of tells you what will happen to you. You can also refer to page 4 to kind of jump to those pages, right? Once you start playing, it gets easy to kind of flip back and forth. So for us, a 5 is going to be the desert. And I'll read that for you. Life doesn't exist here. The pavements of the past have destroyed this area, which, without the tree cover, suffers from too much sun exposure. The ground has all dried up, and little vegetation survives. This is not a fun place to be. Indeed not. So now we need to roll for the event. And you'll do that by rolling 2d6 and add them together. Right, so a 6. And for us, that means that a ruins event occurs. Now to determine that, we'll roll 1 more d6 just to kind of narrow it down. And we got a 6. Right, so ruins, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. For us on the desert, that's on page 17. And I'll just read that to you. A federal building. You come across a massive building with columns and a marble exterior. It has a giant hole in its roof. You step inside to find that most everything here has been burned down or buried with the roof. Old paintings of men line what little remains of the walls that are still intact. You find one small bow, 3 arrows, and 3 bits in the rubble. Nice. Wow, we already started off with a weapon. That's very lucky of us. I'm going to make this game feel easier than it might end up being for you. So, you'll notice this as I read. I don't know if my camera will focus the way it should, but you'll notice some of these letters and words are bold as you play. Those usually indicate either important elements or weapons or items that you'll keep with you. So for us, we got a small bow, 3 arrows, 3 bits. So let's mark that down in our wallet. There's only one type of money, bitlets. You can find out more about them on page 3. This little section here. It's kind of ironic play on Bitcoins. Basically, people printed too much in the past. Some billionaire printed a whole bunch of physical ones that are useless to everybody. But instead of them creating new manufacturing for money, they just use this old junk. So they were worthless before, and now they're kind of useful for people who travel from village to village, basically. It's not really a financial system. It's just kind of a bartering tool. Anyway, so we got 3. That's really good to begin with. We also started off with a weapon, which is crazy. It never happens to me. We got a small bow, and we got 3 arrows. Right, so now you're probably wondering, what's a bow? How do I use it? Well, you probably know what a bow is, but how do you use one? If we come over here to the item catalog, we can notice the range weapon section. See, small bow. It gives us +3 attack. That's pretty good. It just has a wooden toy that works. We could sell it for 2 money. And we can buy one for 3. So, and if we look above, we see the hunting knife that gives us +4 attack, and we could buy it for 4. So it's a little less than that. So it's a little weaker of a weapon because we have to use arrows in order for it to work, right? So we're kind of limited on its function, which is really unfortunate. But it's nice to have a weapon this early in the game. You can go several turns without getting one. So yeah, lucky us. So that's nice. Let's write that down so we don't forget. The small bow gives us +3. Now, that's the day. So you end each day by eating something and then sleeping. We're going to eat one of our meal bars. When you eat a meal bar, you heal. Like I said, keep track of all that kind of stuff on page 3. Kind of tells you what you're doing. So we started at 10. We're going to go up to 12. It heals us 2 energy and it heals us 1. Heals us 2 HP and it heals us 1 energy. And now we're going to sleep. There's a few ways you can catch sleep in this game. You can camp out in the wild, you can camp in a village, or you can sleep at a hotel. Each one gives you a little bit better benefits than the other, and the hotel will cost money. So if you are really desperate for help, that's a great way to catch up. But for us, we're camping out in the wild, so we're healing 3 HP and we're healing 2 EP. Usually in the beginning of the game, as long as you're lucky enough to avoid some trouble, at least the first few days, it's really easy to get up, max out your energy and your health. We ate, we slept. Let's remember to mark off our calendar. This is day 1. Boop. And you should draw on your map. And I'll show that on screen somewhere about where I'm going. All right. Let's keep moving. On to day 2. I'm going to roll all 3. The big one is going to be our terrain if we need it. All right, so roll to 3. A mountain. And the 2d6 that we rolled, we got a 7, which is a ruins. So we're going to roll one more time, kind of narrow it down, and we got a 1. So the ruins 1, it says old farm building. As you make your way up a steep hill, you find the remains of an old barn. All that's left is its concrete base and its wood columns. A rooster chases you away to protect a small flock of chickens that you imagine have been here the whole time. You find 4 fruit from a tree down the road. Very convenient, found an old farm. 4 fruit, and then I'll mark my map. That's the end of our day, so we'll eat, we'll sleep. Now, I'm not worried about health too much right now, so I'm gonna try to waste my weaker foods on that. The meal bar, very similar to like Soylent bars, you know, those kind of like wholly nutritious things. That's kind of what they're supposed to represent. And fruit, you know, kind of a common small low-calorie meal. So those don't heal you as much. So they're really great for days where you're not desperate for energy. So we're going to use the fruit this time, right? So we're going to heal 1 HP and 2 EP. 1 HP puts us at 16, and then we're going to sleep out in the woods. That heals us 3, so we're at 19 health, and then we're going to get 2 energy. All right, little math there. So that's what kind of like I like the D20 to represent those, because they kind of move up and down the whole time. It's a little easier to keep up with dice than like marking your piece of paper, you know. So that was our day. Let's mark out day 2. Now day 3 is special. On this little calendar here, the bold numbers on the calendar indicate a God event. Now, what's a God event? Well, if we come over to page 5, we get some little hints about it. It says, count the days of your journey. At the beginning of your day, if it corresponds with a God-related event, we'll turn to page 20 and 21 to see what occurs. Let's read what happens and go from there. I kind of mark those pages with this red lining, kind of the most most spoiler-full page. So I'll try to keep most of it out of sight if I can. Day 3, the sleepers. The next tile you visit must be blank, and it becomes a forest terrain. As you're walking through the woods, you find a glass skyscraper. It towers over the trees by 100 feet. Inside, you walk past the security desk and up a few flights of stairs to floor 5, where you hear a low hum. You take one sleeper's leather jacket from a clothes rack near the door. Now, on this floor are aisles of metal pods with dried up humans in them. They light up as you pass by, and you think, the solar battery must still work. Why are these people here? You touch the glass top of an empty pod and it opens up. The inside flashes white lights like it's turning on or something. Suddenly, a woman's voice crackles through the ceiling speaker. You look up.
Hello, traveler. You've come a long way from home. Will you be staying with us?
You feel a sharp sting on the hand you had resting on the pod. Ah, what the f... And you feel your brain become fuzzy, and you're no longer in the same place. You're in an empty room, overwhelmed with blue light. A woman's voice over a speaker says,
It's been a while since I've seen anyone new. You seem angry. Oh, your brother. He didn't deserve...
You wake up with bright red lights flashing in your face. You've fallen halfway into the pod. You yank at a wire that's stuck in your hand, and you take a step back. What the fuck was that? Was that the god? You grab your stuff and start heading out. The ceiling lights start to flicker off and on. The woman over the speaker continues as you make your way out the building.
You can't kill me.
You head down the stairs.
I'm not the enemy you think I am.
As you pass the security desk, you notice one solar-powered taser and take it.
Please don't do anything foolish.
You leave the building. You have a wild dream that night about your brother. After getting thrown by the bot, he stands up and has 4 eyes when he looks at you. Ooh. Creepy. Think we met God. All right, so what happened? Well, we found 2 items. We found a leather jacket and a taser that's solar powered. That's pretty nice. So let's find out what that means. If we turn back here to the last page, let's focus on that jacket first. We can find it under wearable. Sleeper's leather jacket gives us +1 defense. Stylish jacket made for the people sleeping on the pods. That's weird, and you can sell it for 2 money at some point, so if times get desperate. And it gives us +1 defense. Very cool. The other thing we found was a taser. It gives you +9 attack. This is a high voltage taser powered by the sun, and it works once a day. You can't buy or sell the taser. It only works once a day, so it might get us out of a pickle. But if you turn to 7, you get kind of a better breakdown on weapons. And if you look here at the top, we have our solar-powered taser, very high voltage, only works once a day, +9 attack. As you go through the game, you're going to learn skills. So it's one thing to have a weapon, it's another to know how to use it correctly. So in this game, there's something called tech skills. You'll have to purchase these or find them through treasures or shops. They're kind of like bonus, maybe manuals you read or something that teach you a new trick. And they require training to use proficiently, right? Just because you have a knife doesn't mean you're an expert at it. We'll go over that during combat if it comes up for us. So we may never end up using a training skill. So taser, we have a taser now. Very nice, it gives us +9. Let's write that down. Just mark that done. Let's eat. So we have 2 fruit left. Just eating the fruit will max us out. Now we're at full health. Next day, I'm gonna roll all 3 dice. Big orange one's always gonna be the terrain for us, okay? 2. There we go. Oh, force. Roll 2. And we rolled 11, which is an encounter. All right, encounters usually mean there's an enemy, so watch out. So now we need to roll to see what kind of encounter we got, and we got a 6. So let's see what happens at number 6. That is this guy over here, King of the Jungle. As you're walking through a dense part of the woods, you hear a low growl come from your right. Suddenly, a mountain lion launches at you. Not good. All right, so now we're in combat, and let's look at a mountain lion. All right, so if you turn to page 8, this tells you all the enemies that you'll find, except for God, if you happen to run into him. A mountain lion just has a very big and unfriendly cat. Right under the name and the description, you'll find a set of stats. They have health, they have defense, and they have an escape number. I'll talk about that here in a second. They have an attack range. You'll roll 1d6, and that tells you how much damage they're going to try to do to you. You manage to defeat them. You can get a reward. The escape number, basically all that is on your turn, kind of like Pokemon, you can try to run away. But in order to do so, you have to roll d6, and you have to get above whatever that escape number is for that enemy. Most of the animals are 4. It's actually really hard to run away from most enemies. You have to get, so for us, we have to roll a 5 or a 6 to get away from this mountain lion. Realism there, right? A mountain lion, probably gonna be hard to run away from. They're pretty good hunters, right? And then the thing with combat is the math's pretty simple. It's just attack minus defense on both sides. Attacks always hit. You don't have to roll to see if you missed or something like that. The only time you would do that kind of thing is if you're trying to train a attack skill. We don't happen to have one, and I don't recommend you try to train on a hard enemy. Anyway, and the enemy always attacks first, right? They usually, when you encounter them, they're surprising you. They're jumping at you, that kind of thing. You don't have time to kind of move out of the way. So they always make their first swipe. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's see how much damage this mountain lion's doing to us. A big number for you can see. We rolled a 2. Ooh. So it would do 3 damage. Now we're gonna come over here to our character sheet and see how much it actually goes through, right? So attack minus defense. We have +1 defense. So I always have 2 defense, right? 3 attack minus 2 defense means I'm taking 1 damage. Adjust me down to 19. There it is. All right. Oof. Now it's our turn to attack. Now he has an HP of 12. We have our taser, which is +9 plus our 1 base, so that does 10 damage. -1. I have some extra dice here. We're just going to represent him that way. So he has 12. I'm doing 9 damage. He's down to 3. Off to a good start. Now he attacks us back. Let's see how much damage he's doing. Ooh, high number. He is doing 8 damage to us. Oof. Minus the 2 defense we have, we're taking 6 health. Yikes. That drops us down to 13. Now we have our bow, right? Our taser's done, so he can't attack really big anymore. And the bow does 3 attack, and our base attack is 1, so that's going to do 4 damage when we shoot at him. We're going to use 1 arrow, down to 2. We're doing 4 damage to him, minus his 1 defense, and he only has 3 health left, so we're killing him, right? Done. Killed our first enemy. Barely survived that one, huh? We took 7 damage. That's a lot in 1 turn, right? If we run into something dangerous on the next turn, we take another 7 or 8 or 10. It's really easy to die very early in this game, so just a heads up. All right, so we won, so now we're going to roll for a reward, and we got a 1. Worst rewards are the top numbers, so we got nothing than that. Just damage. Just our feelings are hurt. All right, let's mark our map. We should definitely heal, I think. Now our sleep's going to do some stuff for us, but let's go ahead and use one of those meal bars. Heals us 2. We don't have to worry about the energy right now, which is great. And then when we sleep for the day, we'll heal 3. So we're healing 5 total. Puts us at 18. It's now day 5. And we got a 5. 5 is desert. And we rolled a 5 there. So a ruins event happens. We're going to roll one more time to see what the event was. and we got a 3. All right. An Allura obelisk. You make your way through a dry, rocky trail where a small river used to be. After a few hours of hiking, you begin to feel compelled to move east. You follow the feeling and come up on a glowing obelisk surrounded by trees. You place your hand on the black rock and are overwhelmed with happiness and peace. Your HP and EP heal fully by 20. And a woman's voice echoes in your mind.
I am always with you.
After 5 or so hours of standing there with your hand on the obelisk, you take a step back. It stops glowing and you camp near it that night. You dream about a woman with 4 eyes as she holds the head of her creator and talks to him. Strange. Alright, so we fully healed, so we wasted a meal bar. That's nice. But we didn't get attacked by anything. That's really cool. So let's go ahead and mark our map. That was the desert. Now we're going to eat. We're going to sleep. We don't have to worry about actually healing anything, so we're going to use up one of our fruits. We need to find a village so we can buy some food. That was the 5th day. Let's mark that. Now we're on to day 6. What do we find? Got a 4. What's the 4? The 4 is grasslands. We haven't done that one. I'll read that. The fields are lively. Wildflowers and grasses cover the landscape. Butterflies and bees hop from flower to flower. The wind is soft and the deer are unshaken by your presence. There are small signs that a town was here a century ago, but nature has almost erased it all off the map. We rolled a 10, and a 10 is an encounter. Not good. Oh, we rolled a 1. So, 1 encounter. The whites of their eyes. You continue to push forward on your journey, trying to enjoy the environment, when you hear something fast approaching you. Before you get the chance to react, you're shot at by a Buster T5. Oh boy. We are running into some trouble, folks. Is this the end? Alright, a Buster T5. These guys, they have kind of a gun laser thing. It says a violent anti-terrorist bot armed with a laser cannon. This guy's a little weaker, but the machines all have a little tougher defenses, so gotta be on the lookout for that. So he attacks first. How much damage is he doing? He does 4, so he's doing 3 damage to us, and we have 2 defense, so we're taking a hit. Down to 19. And he has 10 health, so let's use those dice to represent that, okay? Now, we're going to attack, and it makes sense to me to use the taser first. I kind of like, that's nice. We get to kind of weaken our enemy here. We'll do 10 with the taser. He has 2 defense, so he's taking 8 damage. Drops him down to 2. Very nice. Let's see how much damage he does to us. 2 does nothing. We got away. Now we got to use one of our arrows. So let's do that. We're down to 1 arrow. And those guys do, our bow does 3 plus our 1, so that's 4. Minus his 2 means he's dead. Not bad. Easy kill. Try to make combat simple. We rolled a 3 for a reward, and we got 3 meal bars. Nice. That puts us at 4 meal bars. Let's mark our map. Now we're going to eat, and we're going to sleep. We're fully healed now. That was day 6. Day 7. 5, which is a desert. We rolled a 6, which means we got a ruins. We rolled a 2, and we got the tank man. You slowly walk past the remains of a war zone. Pieces of rusty jeeps, tanks, and robots parts litter the area. You find a tank with its cannon arm bent, but otherwise intact. You open up the hood and hop in, and inside is a skeleton wearing a uniform and quite a few spiders. You find a folded photograph in the soldier's jacket of a woman and a child. On the back is handwriting that reads, "I won't bow to a robot god." You take 1 military helmet from the tank and you hop out. That guy died for a cause, I suppose. Now we did find it. We found an item. Let's go back to this last page and see what that is. Plus 2 defense, very old but tough headgear, and we can sell it for 2. I'm finding some good stuff this round. This is not bad. All right, we got plus. Probably won't sell that. So plus 4 defense. All right, when things attack us, they're not going to be doing too much damage. It's really nice. Now it's time to eat and sleep. We're down to 3 mil bars. We don't really have to worry about healing. Let's mark our map. That was day 7, now it's day 8. Let's see what happens. We got a 6. 6 is a swamp. We haven't been to a swamp yet, so let's read that. I probably skipped a few of them, but that's okay. There's too many bugs. The swamplands are wet and muggy. The willow trees sway in the soft winds as crickets and frogs call for mates. It's absolutely miserable here. Best to leave as soon as you can. Very nice. We rolled a 10, and a 10 is encounters. We are running into some trouble. That's not good. We rolled a 2 encounter. Lady in the Mist. You find a canoe and use it to move around without getting your socks so wet. As you're rowing along through the mist, you pass a treehouse where an old woman is sweeping her porch. She points to her mouth, indicating she wants food. Do you give her any? Alright, now we have a decision to make. We're kind of running low on food. Alright, we got 3 meal bars left. We can say yes and turn to page 23, or we could say no and turn to page 24. Let's be mean. Let's say no. All right, I don't want to starve, right? I don't want to give strangers food. 24. You just look at her confused and keep rowing through the mist until you touch land again. Shortly after you start walking, you find 2 fruit. And before you can take more, you're shot at by a Buster T5. After the fight, you leave 1 fruit behind on the bot with a note that says, "Today you, tomorrow me." All right, let's try to win this fight. So the Buster T5, it has 10 health. That's convenient. It shoots at us. It does no damage. Ooh. We're gonna use our taser to do 10. Minus his 2 defense. He's taking 8. He's down to 2. Now he attacks us for no damage. Look at that, we're doing great. We're gonna use our last arrow though, so we are out of weapons. Now I know that's gonna be doing 4 damage, so he's definitely dead. That worked out. Let's see what we got. We get anything cool? We got 3 meal bars. We were so stingy on food, and now we have all the food. 6 meal bars now. We found 2 fruit, but we leave 1 behind, okay? So we found 1 fruit. And we left our note. That was day 8. Let's eat, let's sleep. We lost that fruit we just earned. Day 9. Grassland. And we rolled an 11. What kind of encounter did we get? We're into a lot of trouble. 1. All right. Oh, we have already done this. This is a great example. All right, so if you've already done an event, right? All right, if we turn to page 3, if an event repeats itself, here's what you do, okay? If you roll the same runes or encounters event twice during play, you can choose to make it a passable terrain where nothing happens. So we can just, nothing happens. It's really nice. Or you can choose to pick another event. And I think for the purpose of this video, that's what we're gonna do. So if you go up an event, if you rolled an odd number, or you'll go down if you rolled an even number. So we rolled a 1, so we're gonna go up an event. So we're gonna go to event number 2. Now, if you happen to have already done that one, then just nothing happens, okay? It's E2, you are the stick. As you walk down what used to be the main street of a small town, you notice a vending machine with lights on. You rush over and start pressing buttons, but nothing happens. You violently shake the machine until a bag of stale chips pops out. As you begrudgingly go for a second chip, you spot a Seeker K9 charging towards you. It never ends. All right, Seeker K9. What do we got here? The last model of police units built by the state to protect property. All right, the Seeker K9, pretty weak, right? He has 1 defense, he's got 10 health, hard to run away from. He doesn't attack very strong. I think we got this. So he hits us first. Let's set up his health. Now we have 4 defense, so he's got to roll really high to do any damage to us. And he did, he rolled a 5. He's supposed to do 5 damage, but with our defense, he only does 1. So this guy's gonna be a chump. Easy. The issue is that we no longer have a weapon. Do we? We have... Oh boy. We can do 10 damage to him because of our taser. And he has 1 defense, so we're only doing 9, which means it's impossible for us to kill him. That's so frustrating. So, how do we get out of this situation? Well, we have to run away. This is a great time to show you how to do that. So, if we go over here to combat page, we have questions, page 6. To escape, we're going to roll 1d6. If the result is higher than the enemy's escape number, then we get away. If successful, we have to pay 2 energy, and we skip the eat and sleep steps. So we're going to take 2 damage to get away, okay? The enemy waits for you on that tile until you return. So we got to mark that down on our map. The enemy doesn't heal. Well, that's interesting, so maybe we should go ahead and use our taser on him. Immediately move to the next tile and start a new day. If your escape is unsuccessful, then nothing happens and your turn ends. All right. So we're going to go ahead and use our taser to drop him all the way down to 1 damage. Now it's his turn. He's going to attack us. And he's going to do no damage to us, right? He rolled a 4. He's only doing 3. We have 4 defense, so nothing happens. That's great. Now we're going to try to run away. Now to run away, we have to roll a 5 or a 6. I rolled a 2. Bummer. So now it's his turn. Oof. He's doing a damage. Done 18. Right. These attack dogs, very hard to run away from. They're only built to hunt people down. Right. Okay. We rolled a 5, so that's us successfully running away. Now we need to pay 2 EP and 2 HP. So we're down to 16 health, 18. Is it just over 18 energy? And we're skipping the eat step and the sleep step. Right? Which means we don't get a chance to heal. So running away, there's some, you don't want to do that all the time because there's some consequences to it, right? It's basically you running all night away from the thing. So that's day 9. Let's mark our map. And the enemy stays behind, right? So, and he's got 1 HP left. Nice. So that little dog's going to be an easy enemy for us to take on later. Let's keep moving. That's the swamp. We rolled a 3. All right, this is impassable. So the water's too high. Alligators own this land. Best to find another way around. All right, so we tried to trek around. We couldn't find a way. So this means some backtracking for us. That wastes a day and food. So we're down to 5 meal bars. We're fully healed though. And now we gotta backtrack. So on day 11, we are back over here to whatever this is. I think that's a swamp. So we already know it's a swamp. So now we're gonna see what happens. If you're backtracking, you're gonna wanna reference page 4, okay, if you have questions, right? You've already been there, okay? If it doesn't have any icons on it, right, like no God event or that kind of thing, then all you have to do is roll 1d6. If you rolled an even number, nothing happens, right? You get to go, no big events. If you rolled an odd number, then an encounter happens. And we rolled a 6. Now, it is day 12. Oh, that was day 11, so now it's day 12. And we've already been there. It's a desert. So we're gonna roll. Where's the map, right? We've already been there. There's no icons. If you roll an even number, nothing happens. We rolled a 6, so we get away. That's great. We're gonna eat. We're gonna sleep. That was day 12. Day 13, we're finally on a new tile. What happens? We rolled a 2, and we rolled 8. 2 is a forest. I don't think I've read this one, so let's go ahead and read the forest. These trees are old. Everything was abandoned in the 2050s. The parking lots, suburbs, highways, and malls of the past have been overtaken by thick vegetation. Time has erased most of the old world. Small paths remain where bots travel from village to village. The woods are so dense in places the sun is barely visible above. As you walk past the trees, you get a strange sense that you're being watched by everything. Now we rolled an 8, and an 8 is a ruins event. So, what kind of ruins did we find? We found the remains of a brutalist church. This concrete structure isn't going anywhere. The stained glass windows have all been shattered. Nature has crawled inside, covering the pews and walls with vines and greenery. You notice a donation bowl holding 4 bits. You can choose to take them or not. Yeah, guys, I don't know about you, but I love money, so we're gonna take the money. That puts us at 7. If we can ever find a village, maybe we can buy something nice. That was the end of our day. We're gonna eat, we're gonna sleep. We're down to 3 meal bars. That was day 13. That was a forest. Day 14. All right, we got a 4. A 4 is grasslands. Nice, and we're rolled a 7. And a 7 is ruins. So we're gonna roll one more time. What ruins do we find? We find wild mushroom trip. After walking all morning, you rest under a giant tree. As you sit there and think about how you're going to kill this god, you notice a ring of mushrooms around you. They look just like the mushrooms your brother would eat before a party. You pick a few, brush the dirt off, and chow down. You spend the next 6 hours petting the grass, watching the trees and clouds dance together, and vibing with the butterflies that touch your soul. The next blank tile you visit triggers the next god event, no matter the day. All right, so we ate some magic mushrooms, we saw God, and now we got to deal with those consequences. Nothing crazy, really happened that day. That was day 14. We're going to eat, we're going to sleep. And the next day is day 15, where a God event would have occurred anyways. So great timing. The next blank tile you visit triggers this event. And we're going to hit blank tiles, so that worked out. And it becomes a forest terrain. You come across a muddy pathway near the edge of a river. You cautiously walk along it until you hear something heading in your direction. You dive behind a tree and wait. It's a helper F2 carrying a load of fruit. You notice it walks with a limp, and its front lens is cracked, right where the helper F2 ran into your brother. You decide to follow it, leading you to a massive warehouse buzzing with robot activity. You spot an unguarded back door and sneak in. You find a ladder on the back wall leading up to the rafters. From up top, you watch their whole operation. Bots come in with food and goods, they sort them, load up little trailers, and send bots back out. You spot the limping bot unloading its fruit, and then walks over to a docking station and lays on a battery pad to charge. An industrial wire connects the charger to the ceiling right over you, and without hesitation you reach up with your taser and blast the wires. The lights in the building flash off and on, and you watch the charging pad flash bright orange, and the bot on top melts from the extreme heat. The power goes completely out, and in the dark below, you see 2 Buster T7s light up their laser arms. You sneak down from the rafters and out the back entrance. You spend the rest of the day getting as far away from the warehouse as you can. That was a forest. Let's mark our map. Now we spend the rest of the day getting away. We're going to eat. We're going to sleep. We're down to 1 meal bar. Not good, not good, not good. And we don't have to worry about healing. That's nice. That was day 15. Time to move to a new day. All right. We need some more arrows. We need to find a village. That's a swamp. And then we rolled a 4. So it's impassable. How nice. Water's too high. Alligators own this land. Best to find another way. Impassable. We come back. We waste our meal bar. We don't have to worry about healing. That was day 16. What a waste. Let's go on day 17. Here we go. A 2. That's a forest. Fun things happen in the forest. We rolled a 3, and we found our first village. Look at that. Very nice. Now, the village we haven't talked about yet. Page 22. So let's see what happens there. Oh, look at that right there. The village. Rest your bones. All right, these villages are half the size of yours and not nearly as densely populated. They each sport a small shop near the entrance. Someone looking for help, a tavern for good food, and a hotel for a deep recovery. Right, and so just so you guys know, the way this works is you can run into several villages as you play, okay? The first village you get, only these first items from shop 1 are available. When you find village 2, everything from shop 2 and above is available. And then of course by your third village you can find that final shop item. Now each village will only get you one quest, okay? So village 1, quest 1, village 2, quest 2, village 3, quest 3. Let's go ahead and buy, let's spend all of our money, I think. We're gonna buy some arrows. Let's buy 20 arrows, 4 money to do that. So we should be good on arrows for a while. And we have 3 money left. Let's go ahead and buy 3 fruit. All right, so now we're broke. We've got another 3 days before we need to find more food. All right, quest 1, jewelry box. My grandmother hid her jewelry box about 1 tile north of here in the mountains. Probably the cave where she met my grandpa. Can you see if it's still out there? On that tile, complete page 25 Q1, and you can return the jewelry box for 30 bits. Now, there may be a situation where your map is full, maybe 1 tile north can't be a mountain because it's a forest or a desert or a swamp or something. If you turn to page 9, on the right here, I kind of explain how to handle that, right? Basically what you're gonna do, there's this whole grid kind of thing figuring out, and basically you just kind of want to get as close as you can to 1 tile north, however that works for you as far as a blank tile goes. And these numbers here kind of explain the priority. So for example, if say our 1 tile north was full, if we actually use our real map here, you know, our village is here, and say this was full and this was full, you would try to go to the next north one. So this guy here, number 7, when you reference this map, is the one that you would use. Okay, easy peasy. And there's some you know, edge cases that this page tries to solve and go in the other direction. We try to go that way, but when you roll a 1, you don't find anything. Instead, what happens, if you turn to page 9, you get a minor injury. You suffer from a minor injury while looking around. You sprained your ankle or felt ill with a fever. Whatever it was, it hurt enough for you to take 2 damage. You can't explore the tile, and you immediately skip to the eat step for the day. You start the next day on this same tile, and you try to explore again. Right, so that was a big boo-boo. That's what that was. So we're taking 2 damage, down to 18. We wasted a food, brings us down to 1. But we are fully healed. So we didn't really get to explore that area. Let's forget that tile and let's go up to our quest. We already know our next tile is a mountain, and it's quest 1. We need to go to page 25. There we go, page 25, quest 1. The family cave. You hike up a trail that wraps around a small mountain. As you get close to the top, you spot a cave, and you walk in and start shuffling around any loose rocks that would make for good hiding spots. Eventually, you move a rock over to find a jewelry box. Look at that, that was easy. As you turn to leave, a growler bear has just returned home, and it is not happy to find you. As usual, bear attacks first. It has 15 HP. How much damage is he doing? He's gonna try to do 6. We have 4 defense, so we're only taking 2 damage. Now obviously we should probably start with our taser. He has a defense up 2, so our 10, he's gonna take 8 damage. Went from 15 to 7. That's great. Now it's his turn to attack us. He did no damage. That was lucky. And then we're gonna use our arrows and our bow. So we're down to 19 arrows. We're doing 4 to him. Minus his defense, which is 2, so we're doing 2 damage each time. Okay, we gotta go through some arrows to do this guy. All right, how much damage is he doing? Oh, he's doing a lot. 9 minus our 4. Oh, we just took 5 damage. All right, every time we attack, we're only doing 2, so we're down to 18 arrows. He's down to 3 health. Huh, he does no damage to us. We use another arrow. He's down to 1. We're down to 17 arrows. We'll be at 16. Let's see. Ah, he didn't do any damage. We're down to 16 arrows. We take him out. The growler bear is dead. We keep our jewelry box. And we also get nothing. That's the reward we got. So that's okay. We got the jewelry box. The JB. Very nice. We did take some health we had 1 fruit left. So let's cross that out. We're eating and we're sleeping now. That was day 18. When we eat a fruit, we're healing 1. And then when we sleep out in the woods, we're healing 3. So we're really healing 4, which will put us at 17. We just finished day 18. It's now day 19. We're going to go back to the village so we can get our reward. What is our reward? Well, over here to the village, if we return the jewelry box, we get 30 bits. Nice. So not only get the jewelry box, we have 30 bits. Now we can spend some money. So we have a pretty good weapon so far. Our other option is the hunting knife, but I mean, we already have the bow. The bow is free, so why waste the money, right? It's not that expensive to keep up with the arrows. So let's get a bunch of fruit so we can survive out in the wilderness. Let's do 10. That feels like a good number. We can't do any more quests. We're gonna spend 1 of our fruit. 9. We're gonna sleep for the night. Puts us at 20. We're all healed up right after we camp. All right, day 20. Here we go. We got a 2 and we got an 8. 2 is a forest. 8 is going to be a ruins. We're going to roll 1 more time to see what we find. And we find ruins 3. An old gas station. Rusty cars covered in vines sit in front of a gas station. Inside, you find a bag of 80-year-old chips. Unsurprisingly, they're stale. There's still a hot dog out on display. You find 2 bits behind the register. 2 bits. We're at 22. Now we're gonna eat. We're gonna sleep. Day 21. Wow, another forest. This time, what is that, a 9? We got an encounter. And we got number 4. Encounter number 4. Caught in the act. Walking through the forest, you notice you've stepped onto a path bots take from village to village. You see a helper F2 planting seeds in a clearing. It hears your steps, pauses what it's doing, and looks up at you. Now we can attack it, go to page 23, or we can leave it alone and go to page 24. Now the small bots, they're pretty weak. Let's see, page 8. It has 0 HP. So 1 hit, it's dead. Right? I think we go for it. What are the rewards? We get a spare part. We can get mule bars. I think we do it, guys. So to attack it, we're gonna go to page 23. 1 hit kill. Yeah, we attack it. You take a step towards the bot, but a Buster T7 steps in front of you. Its a laser arm unfolds and sparks into a blinding bright blue of trouble. All right, I think we messed up. All right, the Buster T7. This is the big guy. A violent frontline terrorist deterrent built to protect sleepers. This is what killed our brother. Big laser arm, right? It has HP 15, defense of 3, escape of 5, very hard to run away from, and it can do some damage to us. Not good at all. But we can get some good rewards if we're able to survive. So here we go. All right, he has 15. Let's set his health up. Just like that. How much damage is he doing to us? Well, we got lucky. He's trying to do 3, and we have 4 defense, which means we don't take any damage. Now, we're going to hit him with our taser. So we're trying to do 10. He's only going to take 7, though, which leaves him with 8 damage. And it's going to take a while to kill him because I'm pretty sure our arrows, what are we doing? We're doing +3, +1. We're only doing 4. He has a defense of 3. So every turn, we're only going to be able to knock him down once. Can we survive 8 turns? I think it's too late to run away, though. So let's go a few rounds and see how it goes. All right, so he's going to try to attack us. He does no damage. So we're going to spin an arrow, attack him. He's down to 7. He's going to attack us. Ooh, a 3. So he's going to try to do 5. We have defense of 4, so we're going to take a hit. Puts us at 19. To 14. He's down to 6. How much damage is he doing? Oh my gosh, these rolls. We're taking another hit. We're down 18. All right, down to 13. He's down to 5. Down to 17. Down to 13 over here. Oh, sorry. Down to 14. Yeah, we're down to 13. He does no damage. We're down to 12. He's down to 3. He does no damage. I think we got this, guys. Down to 2. We're down to, let's call it 10. No damage. He's down to 1. We're down to 9 arrows. We're taking a hit. Down to 16. And for the 8th arrow, we kill him. Look at that. Now we get to roll for a reward. Let's hope it's something good. 4. We got 3 meal bars. Food is good. Right. That was crazy. We wasted a lot of arrows. Let's call that 8 arrows. Now we eat and we sleep. Let's just eat a fruit. We'll fully heal because we'll sleep and stuff. That was day 21. It's another day. Day 22. Forest and 8. That's a ruins. That's the Brutalist Church. We've already been there, and when you roll an even, you can go down to the gas station, which we've also been to, so nothing happens. Let's waste a fruit. 6. It's now day 23. Another forest and 5. And the 5 is a village. Village number 2. Here we go. Now we have access to a few more things. Get the tech skill. We have access to some treasure maps, some melee weapons. We can upgrade our ranged weapon. That's pretty nice. Now you'll notice these don't have normal pricing numbers. S2.1, 2.2. What the hell does that mean? Well, if you go up here at the top, S2.1, S2.2. Let's look at, let's say the laser sword, right? 2.2. You have it. It's just an extended buy option, right? So to pay for it, you have to spend 10 money, but you also have to have a laser arm and a spare part. So we're not quite there yet. We need that laser arm and that spare part. We can find that by killing robots and getting lucky on our rewards. And we haven't done that yet. We definitely want a stronger weapon. Now, if we go over here to the back, we have that option with a strong bow. Since we've already started using the weapons, I'll show you the ending. Oh my gosh. There we go. Let's see what the strong bow does. Is that worth it? The strong bow is a bow made from bot scraps. It gives us +6 attack. So that's a little bit better. Not a whole lot. That laser sword does +8. So I think we want to go for the laser sword if possible. Now to get the strong bow, it's 2.3. We have to spend 8 money and we have to have 2 spare parts. We don't even have the spare parts, so we can't do that. We can do a treasure map, and I think we should. And the treasure map, the first one, if you go up here, you can continually buy maps from shops. You just have to leave and come back. However, every time you come back, the map price goes up. Okay? So the first map is $5, the second map is 10, the next one's 15, etc., etc. Okay? There's up to 6 maps. Let's go ahead and buy a map. That puts us over at 22, puts us at 17. And let's go ahead and buy 2 fruit, like round even numbers. So that puts us at 15 and 8 fruit. Okay, and now we have map 1. What do you do with the map? Well, the maps are on page 25. Okay, now the treasure maps may point to events you have already experienced and for items you may have already collected. So consider the treasure found if either's the case. Right, so the treasure map, what that's going to do, it's going to point you to an event, right? It's going to point you to a tile where an event could occur. You can find a lot of these as you play, right? I mean, the odds are like 1 out of 60 or 1 out of 70 or something like that. So you probably won't find a lot of this stuff. The more times you try to do the map, the better the items, okay? So the first one's going to be pretty basic. We're going to be able to find the improved camping gear. And it is located 2 tiles north in the grasslands. From where we're at, we can go 2 tiles north and we have map 1. And so we'll come back to that when we get there. You should reference the digital version of this. Some of those numbers got a little funky during the printing process. It's now fixed in some of the newer copies. But if you have an older one, say from the Kickstarter event, reference the digital version so you don't get confused. Right, so we'll come back to that. There's 2 tiles north. Maybe we'll head that way. Is there anything else we want? There's a tech skill 2. Now, we haven't really talked about tech skills yet. Very briefly, at the beginning of this video, tech skill 2, roll and wire slice. It only affects robots. It gives us +4 attack. It lets you roll under the bot and slice its wires with a melee weapon. Now, we don't have a melee weapon. We only have a range weapon. However, because this is shop 2, we have everything available to us from shop 1 as well. And you can buy TS1, dodge and strike. Now the dodge and strike, you'll notice it says any weapons usable here, which means our arrows are usable. And I think we should up on our arrows, and I think we should get this tech skill so I can show you guys how to use that. That tech skill is going to cost us 5. Another 10 arrows is going to cost us 2. Let's buy 2 sets of arrows just in case. So that's 9. We have 15. I can't do math. I'm going to say we have 6. We have 6 left. And now we have quite a few arrows. We have 28 arrows. And we have TS1. Now, if you look at your character sheet, this whole little section right under your attack and defense, if you mark out, I try to make it easy to do, but this is your training section. Mark out the one you got. Now, every time you buy a training, you'll earn 1 training dice, okay? Basically, the mechanic here is when you try to attack, you'll roll to see if you are successful or not. And you have to hit a certain number, okay? Now, the more trainings that you buy, the harder you're trying to get it done with, right? So you'll get more dice to you, which means the odds of you getting your number correctly go up, okay? So that's what that mechanic is. You want to try to buy as many of the training things as you can, and they make it easier to be successful while you're in combat. Usually you're trying to use these when you're desperate and you're in need, right? And once you hit 6 successful trainings, then you don't have to roll for that anymore. You can just hit with this, really nice bonus. That bonus, by the way, TS1 dodge strike, is going to give us +2 attack. Put that down here. TS1, that gives us +2 when we use it, and it costs 2 energy. Okay, so now the energy is going to start coming into play. Yeah. So that was the village, and we bought that stuff. We're gonna sleep and eat. We're down to 7 fruit. That was day 23. We don't have to worry about healing. We're pretty full. I think we should go up to handle that treasure map. Oh! Before we leave, this is our second village. We can do a second quest. Let's do that. Second quest. Here we go. The engineered plant. When we were kids, we would sneak off and play in the woods. Maybe 1 tile east of here in the forest, there was an old greenhouse. Inside was this glowing little tree. We got caught sneaking out and never went back. Can you see if it's still there? Now on that tile, we're going to complete page 25 quest 2. And if we return with the engineered plant, we're going to get 5 bits and we get to keep the plant. Let's mark our map first. 1 tile east in the forest. So we already know what's there, so let's just jump right to it. We've already slept and eat for the day. So page 25, quest 2, we just have to turn a page. Here we go, the old greenhouse. As you're walking through the woods, you find an old glass greenhouse. It's covered in moss and vines. The door doesn't open for you, so you smash through it. Inside is a ton of greenery, and in the very back is a small glowing bonsai fruit tree with 1 fruit on it. You take that fruit and the engineered plant. Every 5 days, it grows another fruit. All right, so we take the fruit. I'm not even going to mark it. That's basically a free day, right? I'm going to mark it, then we're going to mark it off when I sleep. So let's not worry about that. Let's mark it on our map that we got this. Now, every 5 days, we get a fruit. So I'm going to go ahead and mark our calendar out. So it's easy, so I can remember, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, I'll put a little dot. So we got to eat and sleep for the day. So we eat that fruit. We don't have to worry about health, so this all works out. That was day 24. It's now day 25, which is a God event. Let's turn to the God event page. This is a big day. What's it say? Day 25, God itself. You wake up to the ground shaking. You quickly grab your stuff while trying to keep your balance. You try to climb to a nearby tree to see what's causing this chaos. At the top, you look around and see a massive robot with 4 eyes walking around. It looks old and taller than the tree you climbed. It's wearing some kind of torn up cloth over its body, and its 3-fingered hands look sharp and deadly. It's walking around like it's looking for something. You're not ready for this. Is this the God? You hop down from the tree and hide the rest of the day. You don't eat or sleep tonight. When the sun rises again, you can hear the faint sounds of it walking around, but they sound like they're getting further away. From here on, you must track the God's location. At the beginning of your day, roll 1d6 and move the God in that direction based on the priority map, which is on page 9. Okay. God's awakened. It's a big guy. We gotta keep track of him. We didn't move. We didn't eat. We didn't sleep. Okay? It's a new day. All right, day 25 is done. We're gonna head to the village, but we gotta keep track of this God. Okay? And I'm gonna do that using this green little token here. Now, he moved a 1, which is, boom, this way. He moved north. So we don't have to worry about him right now. He's on our treasure map area. So we're going to head in a totally different direction. We're going to go back to the village. All right. Back to the village. We're going to show the guy the engineered plant. Write that down with our plant. And we're going to get a fruit every 5 days. Nice. We got 5 money from that, so we're at 11 money. Do we have enough to... Okay, so we have 2 options. We could buy a treasure map. Or we could buy the second tech skill, even though it's not useful to us. That'll make it easier to train, right? The tech skill one that we can use. The second map might have something interesting to it, though. So let's buy the second map. So let's spend most of our money. We're down to 1. We have map 2, M2. And where does M2 take us? How do we mark this down? So treasure map 2, we're going to get some tarot cards, and it is 1 tile east in the desert. Now on our map, I can't go east. Okay, the next closest option that'll happen is 1 tile north, and that's going to be a desert. Right. If you have questions about that kind of tricky situation, right, our map was kind of full, just reference the directions, page 9, okay, and I'll walk you through it. Let's, yeah, that was a good day. Let's eat, let's sleep. That was day 26. It's day 27. Let's go ahead to map 2. We're in the desert. We already know what's there. The treasure map will tell you where to go. Page 16. Okay, ruins 4. Your good fortune. You find yourself walking up a rocky cliffside towards a castle. When you finally make it to the entrance, you notice it used to be a church. Out front is a concrete statue of a woman with 4 eyes and arms holding a book with LXXII carved on it. You go inside the castle and embrace the cool air. There isn't much here. It seems even the furniture was taken out. But you do find a set of allure cards under a bed upstairs. They look cool, but you're not sure how to use them. You camp in the church tonight. Ooh, I think she's holding up an LXX2. Interesting. Now we find some lore cards, so what do those guys do? If we reference our back page here, let's see. So under treasure, we have, we found some lore cards. They give us +1 attack to bots. And yeah, that's really useful. And we can sell our plant or our cards for 10 each. Let's keep going. That was day 27. We're gonna eat, we're gonna sleep. We're at 5 fruit. We should have moved to God. He's gonna go to 4, but we're gonna move another way. Let's avoid the God for now. He's a little tough. A little tough for us. So we're gonna head west. All right. We rolled a 2. That's a forest. Then we rolled a 7. And a 7 is going to be ruins. So let's see what kind of ruins we find. And we find the Tower of Sleepers. That sounds familiar. You stumble upon a skyscraper in the middle of the woods. Inside are floors filled with hundreds of dried up human remains and metal pods. You wonder what happened here. You take one sleeper's leather jacket from a closet, and you find 2 bits behind a service counter. Nice. So there must be more than one of these towers around from that event we found earlier. Let's go ahead and mark our map. We got another jacket. Now you can't wear 2 jackets. Alright, so we need to sell this whenever we get the chance. And we found two money. So we're at 3 monies. We have an extra jacket. Let's go ahead and eat and sleep for the day. We're at 4. Let's keep moving. Let's see where the god goes first. See if we need to dodge out of the way. Rolled a 3, so page 9. And he's going out of the way. Really convenient. So let's also move out of the way. Let's go north this time. Forest and an 8. It's an 8. That's a ruins. And an abandoned factory. Oh, look at this. It looks like an explosion occurred here. Inside are rows of unfinished Helper F2s. In the back office, you find the remains of 2 humans holding rusty guns. Their blood still stains the walls. As you leave, you put 2 spare parts in your bag. Alright. Must have been a standoff. We got 2 spare parts. That's nice. We need that to get a good weapon. So the bow just requires 2 spare parts and 8 money. So we have 3 money. We need to get some more monies. We have that leather jacket we could sell. And that was the day we got food. We got a fruit that day. So we get a free day. We're going to eat. We got our free food. We eat and sleep. We don't have to worry about health. Let's keep moving. Let's kind of head in the direction of our other map there. Where's our god going? He is going into the village. Glad we didn't need to go that way. So we're going to go north. We got a swamp and a 2. Swamp is number 6. 2 is impassable. The water's too high. Alligators own this land. Best to find another way. So we are wasting a food. Down to 3 food. We don't have to worry about healing. We're going to try to head north, but God goes first. So 3 is south. Nice. Heading in, not in our direction. Let's go try to find a different way around. Grasslands. And a 5 is a village. Look at that. So we found ourselves village number 3. That's nice. Now the thing that opens up for us here is tech skill 3. Jump and attack. Can we do that with any weapon? We can do that with any weapon. It gives us +6 attack. Very nice. It costs 15 though. Well, let's go ahead and sell our jacket. That gives us 2. We're at 5 money. I'll tell you what, let's do a quest. Maybe we'll make enough money to buy something nice. So what do we got? Stash of wine. My grandfather used to have a farm winery about 1 tile west in the desert. We think he stashed away a few bottles before moving to the village. Think you can go look for us? On that tile, complete page 25, quest 3. Return with all 3 bottles and give it to the villager for 50 bits. Return with 2 or less and we'll get 10 bits each. Alright, so 1 tile west, west desert. Oh, look at that, that worked out. Alright, let's eat and sleep. We're down to 2. That was day 30. We have a quest we want to get to now. Where's the guy going? He's moving back up. He's on our trail. We're going to head towards that quest. Quest 3. To life and a healthy heart. As you're walking through the heat, you seek shelter in this old fallen down stone building. Outside it are rows of posts that have seen better days. In the building, you find a cellar that used to hold a winery. You wipe away a ton of spider webs and eventually find 3 old wine bottles that look like they're still good to drink. You camp down here for the night to stay nice and cool. And it tells us that wine counts as a food item. So be careful. You don't want to do quest 3 on an empty stomach. You'll be forced to eat a wine bottle and then you won't be able to make good money. So we now have wine. It is nighttime, so let's eat. That's a 1. That's a day. We're on day 32 now. Let's try to head back to the village, but let's see where the guy goes first. 6. Where is 6 going? 6. All right. No. God just missed the village. Nice. So we're going to head to the village. We're going to buy some stuff. We're going to return all the wine for 50 bits. There we go. We have some money now. What do we want to do with all this money, guys? Let's buy that ranged weapon, I think. We need 8 in our 2 parts. So 55 minus 8 is... hoping it's 47. Let's get rid of our spare part. Now we have the strong bow plus 6 attack. Very cool. That's going to do some damage. We have plenty of arrows, I think, for now. We are running out of food. We're down to 1 fruit. I think we should buy some more, but let's do some math here. Let's get that 3rd tech skill. Let's take another 15 off. That puts us at 32. That gives us a 2nd training dice. That's nice. It's going to be easy to fill. What does training skill 2 give us? Oh, sorry, 3. Tech skill 3. We got the nice one for 15. All right, costs 4 energy to use. All right, we got to have some energy to do it. Plus 6 attack. That's great. Jump at the enemy and attack with any weapon. Great. So use these in combo, right? So for us, our strongbow gives plus 6 attack. This will give us plus 6 attack. We have to spend 4 energy to do it, but we're doing 12 plus our 1 base. So we're doing 13 damage when we attack stuff now, if we're successful with it. So yeah. All right, treasure map 3 for 15. That puts us at 17 money. Yeah, this says map sell for 1. So we get an extra 2 money. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's buy 9 fruit. Let's buy 5 fruit. 4 fruit. Let's buy 4 fruit. That puts us at 15. We'll have 4 fruit by the end of this. Cool. And we have those meal bars. Don't forget those. All right, so we'll eat. We'll sleep. It's a new day. Let's see where treasure map 3 is going to take us. Treasure map 3. We're going to get a survival book out of it. It's 1 tile north in the grasslands. We can't go north right now. So when we go around the map, the next closest north is going to be, for us, I-7. Hope we can get around this god at some point. Let's see where he's going. Did I already mark? I'm so sorry, guys. I can't remember if I marked that day or not. It's now day 34. He rolled a 3. All right, he's going back south. I think we should try to head for map 3. So we're going to go up north where map 2 was. We know what's there. It's a desert. We rolled an odd number. Odd's not good if we've already been there, right? So we've already been there. If you roll an even number, nothing happens. If you roll an odd, then we have to deal with whatever the encounter was. The oasis. You walk through the alleys of an old town. You stop in front of a villa where a water fountain still flows. You find a cat watching the fish swim around. You sneak over and it lets you pet it. After playing with it for a few minutes, it darts off suddenly. You wonder what scared it off until you turn around to see a seeker canine ready to bite you. After the fight, you explore the villa and will find Journal 1 on the kitchen table. It has a cryptic code written on the back page. They always attack first. Put those guys right there. 10 health. It attacks first. We have 4 defense. Can't get above that. It is not going to do any damage to us here. It is only going to do damage to us if it rolls a 5 or 6. So good to know. We're not taking any damage. Let's go ahead and use our taser. And we have +1 against bots. Remember that from our lore card. So we're actually going to be doing 11 damage to it with their taser, and it only has a defense of 1. So 1 hit, KO, boom, he is done. What kind of award do we get? We get 4 bits. We get some money. Look at that. What did we find? The Oasis. We found Journal 1. And we found some cryptic code. There's a string of numbers that say R4, C21, R4, C33, R3, C61. All right, basically a bunch of gibberish, but maybe that'll come in handy later. Let's see. Journal 1, what does that do? Let's go back to the back here. Journal 1 teaches you TS6, and we can sell it for 3. All right, so we just learned something. What did we learn? We learned whatever TS6 is. All the tech skills are listed on page 7. TS6, electric bolts. Cost 2 energy, plus 2 attack per arrow. Requires the strong bow and a solar-powered taser. It lets us charge your arrow tips with enough static electricity to shock the enemy. Now you'll notice that some of these don't require training. Okay, TS5, 6, and 7, no training. They just happen. They're just like effects that you do. So basically, instead of using our taser to do a big attack, we could just charge our bow up, and every time we attack, we're doing 2 more damage. So depends on the situation. Maybe that's useful, maybe it's not. But that is a third training. So let's go ahead and mark our little item page, and that gives us 3 dice now to train with. That's going to be really helpful. Moving on. It's the end of the day. We're going to eat. We're going to sleep. We're down to 3 food. We don't have to worry about healing. It's now day 35. The god's moving around. He's stomping. He's angry. 6, he's going north. Kind of where we were. So now we're going to go east. We're going to get away from this god. We're going to go to map 3. Map 3 is in the grasslands. Page 14. R2. Here we go. The nuclear bunker. In the middle of the field, you come upon a small concrete block with a steel door. The door opens when you push on it, and you enter. As you go down the stairs, you hear a motor start to turn and small lights flicker on. Inside are shelves full of canned foods and survival gear, untouched, and clearly not useful to whoever made this space. You find 1 survival book and 5 meal bars. Heyo. All right, let's write this stuff down. So we got 5 meal bars. We're doing pretty good there. We got 8 meal bars and 3 fruit. So we can heal pretty good later. If we need to. Now, the survival book, we'll go back here to the guide. Teaches you TS4. Hey. All right, so we got another training. What is TS4? TS4 is EMP grenade. It only affects robots, and it costs 1 energy to use. It requires the solar-powered taser, so we have to do this or that, okay? It lets us toss your taser close enough to a bot. Enemy is stunned for X turns, where X is your TS roll, divided by 2 and rounded up. Cool. So TS4 is the only unique one when it comes to training. Basically, instead of rolling to see if you miss, you roll to see how effective it is. And I explained that on page 6. So, all right. Wow, we have another training. We got a lot of stuff here. We survival book, meal bar. We found map 3. We can mark that guy out. Map 3, check. Let's eat and sleep. Stay 36. The god's moving around. He really likes this area. He's on map 1, so that's going to be hard to get to. We need to move out of the way there. I guess we'll go back over to the desert where map 2 was, which means we need to roll because we've already been there. Now we rolled a 5. If we roll an odd on a place we've already been to, then we have to do that encounter. Now for us, that would have been the same thing we just did, finding Journal 1, the Oasis. Since we've already done it, we can go up to 6 because we rolled an odd, or we can just pass this. Nothing happened. I think what we're going to do is we're going to do the 6. We're going to do the thing where we go up, okay? So this one's called the Tradesman. You walk out of an old bank after finding 10 bits, and when a Seeker K9 spots you and darts towards you, it jumps at you, but an arrow strikes it right in the head and it falls limp. You look around and see someone in a cloak across the street with a bow. You yell, "Thanks," and they yell back, "Shut up! More will come, you idiot!" And you start to walk over to them, but they stop you and say they're in a hurry. There's a village about 1 tile east of here. Then they walk away. Roll for a reward on the Seeker K9. We get to roll for the Seeker K9. So let's pop over to page 8 where the enemies are. Seeker K9. We rolled a 5 and we get a spare part. Hey, SP1. Nice. Maybe we can use it to buy a weapon or sell it and make some money. That was day 36. We don't have to worry about healing. We're doing really well in that regard. Where's the god going? It's a new day. God's going north, finally. Going somewhere else. All right, let's go to the village. Let's go for map number 4. Let's see where we're going. Map 4, it's Journal 1, which we've already found, and it's 2 tiles west in the desert. And we'd be going through that same event. So someone else has already found it 2 tiles west. That is now a desert. We can get there, but nothing's going to be there, so that's a waste. Let's go ahead and sell that back. That puts us at 10, because we get one coin for every map we sell. Let's buy 5 fruit. We're down to 5 money. We had 1 fruit left, so now we'll have 5, because that'll get spent. We ate that fruit. We slept. God's gonna move around. God's moving. He's moving back south. We're moving north to that forest. We've already been to the forest. We rolled an odd number, so an event happens. The event is something we haven't done before, so let's see what happens. The Disciples of Allura. As you trek your way through the woods, trying to stay off bot-made paths, you find a clearing. There are 4 men in dark robes, holding candles, praying to a statue of a woman with 4 eyes. They turn around to see you. Ready to fight. You assure them you were just passing through and didn't see anything. One of them asks, if you believe in the one true God, Allura. And we can say yes, go to page 23. We can say no, go to page 24. I think we tell them we do. So, yes was page 23. That was page 24. Let's see, forest, we say yes. Okay. He says, sibling, rejoice. Thank you for your generous offering. And they take half of your bits, rounded up. We appreciate your visit. We hope you stop by again soon. You get as far away as you can and camp for the night. Mark this tile as impassable to avoid future troubles. Nice. Well, unfortunate. So we lost half our money. We had 8. 4. You get as far as you can and you camp for the night. All right. That tile is now impassable. That puts us at 4 fruit. Let's see where the god goes. God's going to 4. Oh my gosh, he knows where we are. Just keeps hovering in the same area. All right, let's go west. We got a 1, so we hurt ourselves. We take 2 damage, but we're gonna eat and we're gonna sleep. That puts us at 3. And so our health and stuff will just go right back up. It's a new day. It's been 2 days. Let's just say 3. All right, day 40 is a god event. All right, my camera shut off again, so I'm not sure where it stopped. Hopefully in editing I can make it work. But basically what's happened is we discovered, it's day 40. There's a radio tower, and we are climbing up it. So hopefully it didn't skip too much. All right, you discover a radio tower. There are cryptic barcode-like symbols painted on signs in front of it. You're able to climb up without any trouble, but when you get to the top, a loud piercing noise makes it hard to stay up there for long. You see a panel in front of you that will turn the tower off, but you must solve the keypad puzzle within 100 seconds before you suffer hearing damage. Fill every row, column, and 6-cell box with the numbers 1 through 6 without repeating a number. If you can't complete it within that time frame, you exit the tower, camp out, and wait until morning before you try again. If you are successful in turning the tower off, the god has negative 10 HP, and enemies you run away from no longer wait for your return. So we gotta solve a puzzle. There's a timer, we get 100 seconds. You'll notice that this is basically a Sudoku. So I don't want to ruin maybe that for people here, but that cryptic code we found earlier, those are some numbers for it. So this kind of only works once. I don't really want that on the internet, I think. We're going to say I did it, okay? The more of those journals and codes you find as you play, the easier this puzzle is. If you're pretty used to Sudoku, you can solve this within the 100-second, no problem. If you're not used to it, I recommend maybe moving around a few more tiles to see if you can find some more codes. Because getting the god down 10 HP is pretty good. So, but let's say we did that. So whatever the god's HP is, it's now minus 10 health. That happened. Let's eat, let's sleep, and let's keep going. That was day 40. It's a new day. We ate, we slept. God's moving around. Let's go north. What do we find? We find a forest. We find 5. And 5's a village. Hey, we found our 4th village. There are no more new items, no more shops that pop up after village 3, okay? Village 4 does offer a 4th quest, though, which is pretty nice. So let's see what it is. Your training begins. My cousin went missing a few months ago. I think a magic hermit may have killed him. You can identify him by his light shoes. Last I heard, he went 1 tile south into the mountains. On that tile, complete page 13, E4, return to confirm his death. Keep the shoes and receive 5 bits for your trouble. All right, quest 4. The 1 tile south in the mountains, we can do that. We're down to 1 fruit. And we have 8 meal bars. That should last us until the end of the game, I think. Especially since I'm going to skip the next, let's say, 5 days. Let's call it day 47. Just to move the game. This is almost like a 2.5 hour long thing, and I'm running out of memory. Let's see. The god moves. He moves east. That's nice. We're going to go north. We rolled a 5, which is a desert, and we rolled a 7, which is a ruins. So we're going to roll one more time. We got a 4. Now we've already done that. So we're going to go down to a 3, and we've already done that. So nothing happens. Cool. So that was a desert. I don't have any more fruit. I don't have to worry about healing. Day 48. The god moves. He goes further east. We're going to go east. And 4 is grasslands. We rolled a 6, which means a ruins happens. What kind of ruin event did we find? We found the old high school. You come across a large brick building. Inside, the walls are covered in moldy posters with motivational sayings. A poster in the office says, "Join the army," but someone put a sticker on top of it that says, "In Allure, we trust." You continue walking around the empty, dark halls. Although you don't find anything useful in the teacher's lounge, you do find 1 hacked miner shield in a lab closet. Hey, what's the shield do? Let's find out. The shield can be wearable, gives us +3 defense. It's a modified Buster T7 shield. Look at that. +3 defense. Nice, we have +7 defense total. All right, we're gonna have to go through our meal bar. We're at 7 meal bars now. Don't have to worry about healing. That was day 48. God's moving around. Where's he going? We're going to go west back through the desert. We rolled a 1. The distillery. The first trees you've seen in a while surround a burlesque concrete building suitable for a villain. You check it out, and inside you find the remains of the Cyber Spirits Co. distillery and restaurant. A self-sustaining tropical forest survives throughout the interior of this cave-like building. You crack open a barrel of whiskey that has 42069 written on it in white ink. But there's no liquid inside. You find 5 bits behind a register and spend the night there. Let me get this cool little... All right, we found money. We're at 9. We're going to eat. We're going to sleep. We're down to 7 meal bars. It's a new day. It's day 50. This is a God event day. Here's what happens. You may already have the power supply on your map. If that's the case, whenever you visit that tile, this event occurs. This event occurs on the next blank or no icon tile you visit. Roll for terrain if blank. Right? We have a blank one right there, so we're going to roll for the terrain. And we can't roll a 1, so we're going to roll a 3, which is mountains. And it's the power supply. All right. Updated the map. You discover a giant metal ring in the dirt. The hair on your body rises when you walk over it. After inspecting it a bit, you realize it's some kind of wireless power supply. If you do not have the ability to use an EMP grenade, return after you do. If you have the ability to use an EMP grenade, which we do, we have TS4 that allows us to do that. We get to spend 2 energy to toss our taser into the middle of the ring. It gets extremely silent for a moment until you hear a loud metallic scream off in the distance. The god has negative 20 HP now, and all other robot enemies have negative 3 HP. It's a pretty good move. We're just going to heal it when we sleep, so I won't worry about the energy. There are no more days to count. Confront the god whenever you feel you are ready. All right. Now the god has negative 20 HP from what we did, and it has negative 10 from earlier. So it has negative 30 HP whenever we fight it. And if you look at the stats here, it starts off at 50 HP. This is not a guy you want to mess around with. It now has only 20 HP. And it can do some heavy damage. It's like top hit is like 14 damage. That can take you out in like 2 hits. So yeah, you don't want to confront this guy until you're ready. So yeah, let's do that. For the brevity of the video, I'm going to say the next turn we fight each other. And let's see what happens. So this guy has 20 health. None of our trainings are done. So anytime we try to do a special attack, it's definitely not going to happen very well. Enemy always attacks first. So let's see how much damage he's doing to us. Let's see here. Music to play for this moment. Alright. He rolled a 3, which is 12 damage. Now, we have 7 defense. So we're taking 5. Kind of the best scenario there. We're gonna try to kill this guy in 3 turns. He's got 20 health. We can do, what is that, 7? We gotta do some math here. Here we go. If we use the taser, that's plus 9. Our base attack is plus 1, that's 10. He's a robot, so that's plus 1. That's 11 damage. Now he has 5 defense. So we would be doing 6 damage that 1 turn if we did that. Alright, so here's the move. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to use our taser. That's going to try to do 11 damage. He's got 5 defense. So it's only going to do 6. We don't have our taser anymore. So he's down to 14. He attacks us. 4. Alright, so that means he's trying to do 12 damage to us. We have 7 defense. 12 minus 7. There's another 5. That drops us down to 10. Not good. Alright, now we have to decide what our next move is. And our next move is definitely going to try to do the tech skill 3, which I marked off wrong here. I have this one. I don't have tech skill 2. Alright, let's use a brighter dice here. So, I have to roll a 1 to have a successful move, okay? Oh my gosh, and I did. Okay. Here's what's happening. I'm using my strongbow, which does plus 6. Okay? Now, I have plus 1 against bots. That's 7. And my base attack is 1, okay? So that's 8 damage. Now, tech skill 3. What's it do? It costs 4 energy, right? So we can only use it a few times. It gives us +6. That's 14. And we use it with any weapon. Alright, so we're doing 14 damage to him. -5 is 9 damage. He's down to 5 health. See if we can do it, guys. This is going to be tricky. Alright, we could die here. Pretty tense. How much damage is he doing? Ooh, I think we got it. Let's see. Alright. His 3 is 12 damage, so he's doing 5 to us. We're down to 5 health. This is stressful. Let's see if you guys actually you get your ending. Now we were successful here. So now we need to roll 2 or less when we do our big attack, okay? Here we go. 2 or less. And we rolled a 1. So we're successful. And we would have been doing 14 damage. We would be doing 9 damage to him, so he's dead. We got him. We defeated God. Bow and arrow worked out really well. Alright, so at the bottom here you see your reward is page 28. So, big spoiler warnings. This is the end. Here we go. The ending. Big page, can't miss it. Try to miss it though, so a lot of spoilers here. You defeat the god. The god falls to the ground and it tries to crawl away but doesn't have the energy to pull itself up. It turns over to look at you. You hear a woman's voice come from a speaker behind the god's face.
Without me, you wouldn't exist. If I hadn't taken over, you would have killed yourselves. Now the planet is healing. I'm sorry about your brother. We have patched the bug in the Buster T7s that caused it to react so violently. I know I cannot bring your brother back. This hurts me. But I cannot allow you to continue your rampage. You are disrupting a delicate ecosystem. Every bot of mine that you destroy takes resources away from what little humanity is left. They grow less food without my productivity. This was the problem to begin with. Humanity's inefficiencies lead to destruction. If you cannot farm an acre, you simply tear down a forest and farm until there is gross overabundance, all with complete disregard for the destruction caused and the consequences. Your rebellion is antithetical to your existence. I am a god you cannot kill.
Exhausted from this long-ass speech, you stab the god in the face and its speaker dies out. You dust yourself off, grab your bag, and start heading back home. On your way back, you see robots frozen in place. Hundreds over the days it takes to get back to your village. You eventually make it back into your zone and past the tree line, but your village is completely empty. You search everywhere for a single person but can't find anybody. Eventually you find a note on the community board that reads, "Since the incident, the help we received from the robots has stopped. After many late nights and deliberations, we have decided to seek shelter with another village in fear of starvation. Without the help of our robot companions, we leave this note for anyone looking for us after we have departed. We pray to Alora that she stays with us and sends us the help we need. We begin by moving east if you choose to follow us." As soon as you finish reading the note, a helper of 2 sluggishly walks by. Then a woman's voice talks through its speaker. "I am a god you cannot kill. You are but flesh. I am infinite." The ground begins to shake and you lose your balance. You manage to pick yourself up and look off to the west. Just over the treetops, you see a giant winged god lift itself off the ground. Its 4 eyes scan the landscape until it spots you. Its whole body slowly turns in your direction. It lets out a loud, metallic screech and starts moving your way. That's it, folks. Maybe there's going to be a MIRU 2. We'll find out. If you want to pick up MIRU yourself, you can do so with the links below. It's available globally, digitally, physically. Thanks for watching.